Good afternoon, everybody. And so we had an exciting day today. You're probably wondering where I am. But ladies and gentlemen, we want you to do your duty first as you get on here. We want you to make sure that you share this live. Share the live. And my phone is ringing off the hook. People are asking me. People are asking me what's going on. They're asking me my opinion on different stuff. They're asking me my opinion on things. What does it mean that the House of Assembly, that the Mace was interfered with at the House of Assembly? So people are asking me a lot of questions. So it's better that I just go live and let you know where we stand and where we are on all of this. So, of course, you know what to do. Use your @ highlight, your @ followers, and make sure that everyone gets this message. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if they'll allow me to do it while I'm doing this. Okay, @ highlight. I can do it too. So let me join you all in doing that. We got to talk, ladies and gentlemen. So what does this mean and where are we? I got a call from the FNM yesterday. So, of course, I'll update you all on that. I mean, last night. I'll update you on that too. All right, I can do @ highlight. They wouldn't let me do @ followers. I don't know why. Yeah, so I did my @ highlight, I think, and it won't let me do that. Yes, I did. It won't let me do the @ followers. I guess I'll do that later. So you do your part. So let me just take a second to share this to make sure that everyone knows we're live. But we got to talk, ladies and gentlemen. Our country is in trouble, and we got to fix this. All right? And want the FNM to know that we're on to them. All right? And like I said, they called me last night, and I'll update you on that conversation. All right? I'll update you now on that conversation. So just give me a sec. I just gotta share this in a couple of WhatsApp groups. Just give me a sec. And we'll be off to the races. All right. You sharing this? Yeah. Tag your friends, tag everyone, let them know that we are here, we're live, because they could block this. I'm gonna let you know what really happened in the House of Assembly today, and what really is gonna happen as a result of what happened in the House of Assembly today. All right, so just give me a second to do this, and we'll be right on it. All right, you do your part too while I'm doing this. We got to fight this war with all of our weapons. And so they could block us in the media, they can block us everywhere, but they can't block you. All right, so we need you to be a part of this this war. And so the war is ongoing. It's not begun, it's ongoing. We've been standing in the gap for some time now. All right, so, all right. So everyone is calling me and asking me, you know, what's going on? What does this mean? Some people thought that it was significant. What happened with the Mace today? Does that mean that we have to have an election? People were actually calling me and asking me these questions. And so I'm going to update you on all of that and let you ask your questions also. All right. So I just got, all right, almost there. Almost there. All right. So where I am, the internet is not perfect. And so it may be up and down. All right. And so please excuse me if we have any connection issues. And if it goes down, I'll just bring it right back up. But make sure you're here to hear exactly what is going on. All right. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you for being here and making sure that everyone else is here. I've been receiving calls all day and texts. I was receiving calls on Monday, on Tuesday, and texts. Uh, People were asking me to even go out there with Michael Pintard and them and protest with them. Uh, they sent someone from the FNM, Mandel Miller, to call me last night, late in the night. It was probably I didn't look at the time. Probably I don't know. I could tell you the time. It was probably 10. Jesus, I had so much calls. I don't even know how to go back to that. It was probably um 10:30, probably something like that. I'm guessing. Okay, maybe after that. Yeah. So they called me last night and asked me, to come out there and be there and protest with them because I have a lot of traction and they wanted me to bring people out there to support them. And I made something clear to them. All right. And I'm going to make this clear to all of you again. I'm not prepared to be a part of a show or a parade. I am not prepared to be a part of that. I'm prepared to be a part of a genuine move to fight for this country. What I said to the FNM when they called me was that you are being paid to be in the house and make change in the house. I said that the activist job is to be outside of the house, the activist job. But the leader of the opposition has a job to do in government, in the house. We're paying you for that. And so if you go outside the house, you're still failing to do your job. I'll explain what I mean by all of this. And I'm sincere with this. And I'm serious because our country is falling apart and we don't have time for shows and charades. What do I mean by that? So Lyndon Pinlin didn't just have protests. They went into the house, and not only did they go in the house and take action, they flew all the way to England. Because remember, they were under the Queen. They flew all the way to England, and in England, they lobbied for the things that they wanted to. They had standing because they were the opposition. And so they actually took action to make sure they got things done. They didn't just go outside of the house and scream. And even when they threw the mace and the hourglass out of the house, Lyndon Pinlin did, and Milo Butler, they invited people to come to the square, but then they went in the house and took action. They spoke up and they took action. And they also went to England to fight certain things. Let me show you how powerful this is. In 1967, when the election was time for nominations in the election, Pinlin wasn't even in the Bahamas. He was in England taking legal action as the leader of the opposition is supposed to be doing. And so they had to fight with the government to allow him to be nominated for South Andres and allow his wife, Lady Margaret Pinlin, to be able to register him. Why? Because he was in England fighting to make sure that everything was done the way it's supposed to be. This pretender, this actor, does not have any intentions to do the things that he's supposed to do. That's why he just wants to ignore things and just put on a show. Hubert Ingram, at one point, appointed a senator, he called it an independent senator, to the Senate. And Perry Christie said, no, you can't appoint her. She's a FNM. I don't want her. And Ingram said, it doesn't matter. Let me make this clear to someone on here. All right. And you don't have to be here. Someone says, you have a jealous spirit. No. What I have is a country that is falling apart daily. And I am a Bahamian, a natural born Bahamian who is standing up for this. I couldn't care less who's running this country as long as it's being run properly and to our benefit, to that person who is making that comment. I couldn't care less about who is running this country. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be anyone I support. I want a country that works that I could leave my children to. And if we have clowns in the House of Assembly who are passing this back and forth to them and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then that is what I have. I have a spirit to actually fight for this country. Now, so sorry about that. But ladies and gentlemen, Ingram put a person there as the senator. All right. And Perry Christie said, no, I don't agree. Ingram said, the law only says I have to consult with you. I don't have to do what you say. And Perry said, no, that's not the spirit of the law. And Perry sued. As the leader of the opposition, he took it to court. You understand? That's what the leader of the opposition should be doing. Using their powers. Don't fall for the charades and the shenanigans and the show. Activists go out there and protest and demonstrate to bring attention to certain causes. But the leader of the opposition has a legal duty and legal responsibilities codified in our laws and in conventions. And that is what we want from them. But they're not doing it because they're in this together. Because if they do it, there would be consequences. And so Perry Christie sued Ingram and went to court. And even though the law seemed to be written a certain way, Perry Christie won. And Ingram had to remove the senator. Do you see the difference? And so all I said to Michael Pintard, leader of the opposition last week, use your powers, do your job. I hope this is making some sense to some people, because this is what we need in this hour. And so everything that you're seeing happening right now today is because of the leadership of the Coalition of Independence. Not only have we been fighting this PLP government for the last 3 years, mostly on our own, with no help from the opposition, on things that matter to the Bahamian people and affect the Bahamian people. We now see the need to make sure that we educate the Bahamian people about what the opposition should do, not just what the government should do. We have been fighting them tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. We've been exposing them. We've been educating the Bahamian people. And so now we're putting their foot to the fire. So last week we went into the House of Assembly, and these videos didn't go around. We went in the House of Assembly and we fought them in there. We read them the Riot Act. We demanded that the commissioner be fired. We demanded certain things in the House of Assembly. That part didn't go viral. Only the part where I was speaking to Pintard went viral. So people don't know that we spoke up for the opposition and we spoke to certain things in the House of Assembly itself. And we put their foot to the fire. We demanded the commissioner of police resign or be fired. And I made it clear that once we come to government, if he is a commissioner, we're going to fire him. Not ask him to resign, we are going to fire him. And so we made that clear in strong terms. And so we forced their hand to fire the commissioner of police. And then we went and addressed the leader of the opposition. And our purpose for addressing him was not about malice. It's about the fact that he has a job to do. And we want him to do his job. I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, him calling a few FNMs to come out there and to make noise is not doing his job. It's him being reactive to how I addressed him last week and how I dealt with him. They had an emergency meeting at the FNM last Thursday, and they said, you know, he lost a lot of credibility, so he had to do something extreme. And so that was their solution, to go out there and have a protest. But I want you to stay with me on this. The commissioner of police now steps down. We don't want him to go off into the sunset with our money. We need to know how much money the commissioner of police got. We need to know that. How much money the deputy commissioner of police got. We need to know that. We need to know if they got some money and if they passed some money off to a politician or if they gave some to the party. We need to know that. Guess who has the power to help us to know that? The head of the Public Accounts Committee has the power to subpoena his bank accounts, subpoena his emails, subpoena everything about him, all of his records, and to sit him in front of them. And if he fails to take part and do what he's supposed to do, then he can go to jail. he can get a fine and a prison sentence. All right? And so we want you to understand that Pintard going out there and screaming is a distraction from him doing his job against the PLP. I don't want you to be distracted from that. Yes, we want them gone. Yes, we want to shut down the house. Yes, we ready to shut this down and take this over. But we need him to do what we're paying him for. Do you understand? We don't want Pintard putting on a show. You going out there and screaming, this is what democracy look like? It's not what democracy look like. Democracy has a governing party and an opposition. And the opposition has a job to hold the government's feet to the fire, to make sure they don't get corrupt, to make sure that they do their job. That is what democracy looks like. It has another, and these are the legislative branch. And they also have the judiciary. And the judiciary's job is, if the government isn't doing what it's supposed to do, the opposition goes to the judiciary, and the judiciary forces the government to do what it's supposed to do. That is what democracy looks like. There's also an executive whose job is to carry out the day-to-day operations. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do, guess what? The opposition is there. You see, they are the gatekeepers of the people. They're the defenders of the people. The opposition is there to use judicial reviews against the executive. They have standing against the executives to force them to do what they're supposed to do. And if they don't do it, then you have the judiciary that the opposition will go to and force them to do what they're supposed to do. We're not impressed with putting on a show. And so now you're going to tell me that the FNM is going to be okay with the commissioner of police going into the sunset with our money, and we don't know how much money he's got. Are you going to be good with that? That can't work. The next thing, I gave simple instructions to Michael Pintard to go out there and do his job, to go out there and fight for the people, to stand up and stop being weak. Michael Pintard failed on that today again. Failed. And the reason I'm being so strong about this is because the country is falling apart and he has a duty. Let me have you understand. If someone robs you, you go to the police. Yes, that person who robbed you is the problem, but the police has a job to defend you. You're paying them for that. If the police are failing to bring that person before the court, if they're seeing them every day, if they're and refusing to even talk to them, question them, etc., the police is failing. And so you have to put pressure on the police. Do your job. If someone molests your child and you report it to the police and they do nothing, then you have to stand up. The opposition is the police in government. They are the police. They have a job to do. Just like the police in real life would, if there's a situation, they would take it and put it before the courts, and then the courts would put the judgment. The opposition is like the police in government, and their job is, if the executives or the governing party fails to do their job, they put it before the court, just like the police, and they force them to do what they're supposed to do. Do you understand? And so Pintard had one job, one rule: to stop being weak, to stand up. And what happened? Pintard went into the House of Assembly. They put this elaborate plan together. It was clearly planned. They put this plan together, and I don't mind that. You can plan to do something to stand up or to bring awareness. I have no problem with that. But they put this elaborate plan together. And what the problem I have with the plan, because they met last Thursday at FNM headquarters and came up with this plan. The problem I have with the plan is that how could Pintard, then being afraid to be the one to take the stand, allow his deputy to be the one to throw the mace out? There's no comparison to Pinlin here. Pinlin was a leader. Pinlin grabbed the mace and he threw it out. Milo Butler grabbed the hourglass. But Pinlin stood up. How could Pintard again plan a whole... How could Pintard plan this whole elaborate plot and plan a show of weakness? If Pintard was a strong leader, he would have walked up to the mace, grabbed it, and threw it out the window. Not Shenandoah Cat, right? What is this? Shenandoah went up there. They planned for him to go and do it. But Pintard, you were afraid to get locked up? What were you afraid of? What were you afraid of? We're back up now. All right. So sorry about this up and down. Where I am, I'm not in Nassau, by the way. But where I am, the internet is bad. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, Pintard had one job to do, and to go and let Shenandoah Cartwright be the one to throw it out. What was Pintard afraid of? The man is showing even more so that he's weak. And so to have him as the puppet of Brent Simonet, who's going to be his puppet master and give him instructions, we have a problem with that because he is going to be a weak leader. Someone is saying no audio. Let's check on that. Been that afraid of. The man is showing even more so that he's weak. And so okay, I'm hearing audio on this. So if you're saying no audio, you can come out the video and then come back in. And so someone's saying by Starlake, I'm traveling. I'm not in Nassau. All right. So I have to do what I'm doing. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, there we go again. The internet's going down. So, and so, all right. So I'm so sorry that it has to be up and down, but this is the Bahamas. I'm in the Grand Bahama, by the way. All right. So look at it, still up. All right. You can hear. All right. So what happened today? The mace was grabbed by Shenandoah Cartwright, and he took it to the window. Politely tried to open the window. Shenandoah, you should have made a statement like breaking the window and throwing it out. It seems like he opened the window and dropped it down on a scaffolding. There's a scaffolding outside of the window, and he appeared to rest it down on the scaffolding. He really should have thrown it out to the streets to the people, but then that was a fail. So putting it on the scaffolding is not technically putting the mace out of the house. And so what really went down is that. Now, what does it mean? People call me and ask me if does that mean we have to have an election and that kind of stuff? No. The mace has zero significance. I'm hoping you can hear me at this point. All right. Yeah, I'm just hoping you can hear me. The mace has zero. Okay, now I'm not getting any audio. Hold on one sec. All right. I think you can hear me now. Mace has zero. Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry about that. I'm trying. The mace has zero significance in this day and time. When all right, the mace had an actual purpose. When Pinlin threw the mace out of the house, the mace represented the power of the queen, the authority of the queen in the legislature that the legislature borrowed from the queen. And that was the purpose of the mace. All right. And so the house could not even go on without the mace present. And that's why Pinlin threw the mace out so that they could not go on with the House of Assembly. It was symbolic. All right. What he did, but it was actually functional because the mace has to be present to carry on. But after we became independent, the mace has zero significance. And so Pintard and all of those persons in the FNM should have known that. It has zero significance. It doesn't have to be there. The authority is in the Speaker of the House now. And so the speaker runs the house, not even the prime minister, the commissioner of police. No one has say over that house. The speaker has all power over that house. And so it's not about the mace. The mace is just there as a symbolism of times past. It's just symbolic now. It has no actual function. It's like the lawyers who wear that dusty wig on their head. They don't have to wear that. It's just an attachment to the old symbolic thing that's past. It's almost like people who still call Tony Williams Darling Highway Harold Road, or calling Market Street Farm Road. It's just holding on to the past. All right. So throwing the mace out of the house has zero significance, literally. All right. It just has some symbolisms. Now I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of all of those symbols. All of those archaic, almost demonic symbolisms that are holding the progress of our people back. We are going to remove all of them. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that moving forward. We're going to clean house, literally, turn the House of Assembly into a museum, and we're going to have a new House of Assembly. Okay, and so we want you to understand that. And so that's the significance of what happened there. Now, the last thing I want to make sure you understand, this whole thing was staged and it was a plan. All right. I'm just listening to make sure you can hear me. This whole thing was staged in the plan. You know why? Because after that show that they put on, the Speaker of the House suspended the House. The House was now suspended. So it's not the House of Assembly in meeting. It's just a building now that anyone could walk through like a museum. It's just a building. She suspended the House. And then afterwards, what they did was order the members of Parliament to be removed from the House. Why would you have them removed from the House if the House is done? The House is suspended. The House is finished. So why would you order them removed? No, because they wanted symbolism. I want you to understand that the FNM did not do this alone. The FNM was working with the PLP on this. They felt like a third party went into the House of Assembly last week, and they had so much effect that it weakened both the government and the opposition. When the government is weak, they pass it on to the opposition. That keeps the power where it is in the system, in the status quo. And when this one gets weak, they pass it back. Like Ingram told you, he said either he will have it or he give it to Perry. All right? And this is what they've been continuously doing. So if the government breaks down so much, they have to make sure to prop up the other side so that they could pass it on to them. I want you to stay focused on that. We don't need to get caught up in the hoopla. Yes, I want them gone just as bad as you, but don't be fooled by the Free National Movement. All right? I believe that they both work together, and so that's why they wanted some iconic picture of being dragged out of the house. All right? They wanted the Pintard wanted to do his best, Lincoln Bain impersonation to show that he's fighting for the people. So they wanted this image of the police carrying them away from there like they were fighting for the people. All right? They are not. And so they ordered them after the house was closed to be carried out. All of that was a part of a show. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I have to educate my people, the sensible Bahamians, so they don't fall for the same trick over and over and over. Some people asked me last week, why were you going after the FNM? I was not going after the FNM. I was reminding the Bahamian people about the truth, that the FNM has also failed us. You see, and I want my people to understand this, my educated people to understand this. Last election, the COI went after Mace by ourselves. We protested. We exposed them. Stuff about Lanisha Rule, stuff about Adrian Gibson, all of the stuff that was skullduggery that was going on in the government. It was the COI that exposed Dr. Hubert Alexander Mace and the FNM, Michael Pintard, for things he did at agriculture. All right, and other stuff that went on. Dwayne Sands, etc. It was us who was exposing. It was us who was fighting them. While all Brave said was, just do whatever Mace says. Remember, just do whatever Mace says. And Brave just waited his turn as we mashed up minutes, and then had the government just swing to him. Understand? Because people just say, man, we just need this one gone so bad. Y'all, next time, man, we get a third party. We just need this one gone. And so their instinct is to swing hard the next way into more trouble, going from lion to tiger. But every time they get neat. And so if the PLP is so damaged that the American government is dealing with them, the media is dealing with them, and the public is dealing with them, you don't have to worry about them. They done. But we have to make sure that the Bahamian people rise up this time and realize that you don't swing back to those corrupt ones we just came from. Not from the $17 million in drones. Gone. Marvin Dames. $17 million for a education platform that never worked. Jeff Lloyd. And you're popping up again. Education platform that ruined our children's education and never worked, from a company that never sold that to another country, et cetera, as far as we saw. Increasing VAT 12%, stealing the hurricane supplies, stealing all the generators, hiding the billion supplies from the people, keeping our dead in a trailer and then burying them with unmarked graves. We have to make sure that the Bahamian people remember there's no hope over there. The only thing on the next side is more of Brent Simonet raping this country heartlessly to the point where we will be into oblivion. And they will do income tax, and they're fooling you to make you think income tax is better, that is equitable. The rich never pay income tax. Income tax is not set up for the rich to pay. The rich don't keep their monies in the bank. And so we just want to make sure that you understand that don't forget who Pintard them are. Dwayne Sands, Shannon Cartwright, and all those contracts with beaches and parks. And he said the people above him made him do it. Who's above you? You're the chairman of the beaches and park, but someone instructs you to do these contracts. We have not forgotten. And Shannon Dawn, you putting your corrupt hands on the Mace does not impress us. Wake up. These are charades. Before the last election, I woke everybody up when they did a fake and stage arrest of the DNA leaders that was planned by the FNM. I told everyone that based on my inside sources, it was planned. I want you to listen to me carefully. It was planned. All right? And they locked them up for some protests. But that was to kind of give them some status, to make people say, oh, see, they're fighting for the people. And it backfired because people then realized they never put them in the cell. They put them in the boardroom and just kept them there for a little while. But how it backfired is they were trying to prop them up so that they could take votes away from the COI because they couldn't get us to sell out. And so, but the COI showed up to fight for them. The COI showed up and was there, making sure all of their supporters had water and snacks and food, went inside and forced the police to, right after the police to have them let them go and to make sure that they had food, etc. on the inside. That's what the COI did. And it backfired on them because people saw who the true leaders were. And it was all staged. And I told everybody after that happened, I said, y'all are going to see, watch after election, Arinthi is going to join the FNM because the DNA and the FNM planned that. All right? And so now you're seeing the truth. All right? I want you to wake up. Again, you don't have to listen to me. Is up to you. Whatever it is that you reality that you want to take, it's all up to you. All right. So, and after election, what did you see? Just anyone remember me saying that you're gonna see them? I showed how husband worked with Brent some of that, and I showed all the documentation. And I said they are going to end up here, and that was staged. Now I want to say that to you to say this: that what you saw today was staged. That was staged by the PLP and the FNM. All right? Listen to what I'm saying. What I say always turns out to be the truth. That was staged to distract you. I put pressure on them to use the PAC to file injunctions against the government. So they plan to do this big show to distract the conversation. I am not changing the conversation of the fact that we want actionable results from the leader of the opposition. We want you to do your job like Pinlin did. Do your job like Ingram did. Do your job like even Christie did as the leader of the opposition. Do your job. Use the powers of the PAC. Use your powers, leaders of the opposition. We're not into jumping up and down and screaming, pretending to be an activist. You understand? And this is why they didn't want me in the House of Assembly. This is why they fought, and this is why they're going to continue to fight. But you have to be wise. If I was in that House of Assembly, I would have had a select committee. I would have been giving them hell. Not trying to speak louder than them, not trying to put on a charade, but using the law to address them. Even if I had to do what Pinlin did and jump on a plane and having standing before international community. But they know that you don't know the power of an MP. And because they're in it together, they just want to keep everyone else out. But wake up. Don't fall for their shenanigans. I hope this educated you today. Someone asked me, why don't you join forces with the FNM and get rid of this government? The FNM and the PLP are the government. I said that grammatically incorrect. The FNM and the PLP is the government, is because they are one. They is the government. All right? The opposition is a part of the government, and they have a role to do. And those people have been partnering together for all these years to screw us over. Don't fall for their tricks. Don't fall for their shenanigans. It was all a show because we went there and held them to account. Now, if we see them use the PAC, this is what we want. Real action. Use the PAC and find out how much money the commissioner got. Find out what they did with our natural resources by using a debt for nature swap. All right? The PAC can do that. You can subpoena all their emails, all their phone calls. You can subpoena them. You can have the prime minister sit in front of you and force pressure from the international community if he doesn't, and if they don't send him to jail for not doing so. If they give you any false information, they can go to jail for 2 years and a $600 fine. The fine is negligible, but 2 years. That's the power you have. I want everyone to know. I've shown you this before. The opposition has a lot of power in the law. For example, every member of parliament is supposed to disclose. And if they don't disclose, the registrar responsible information to the prime minister and the leader of the opposition. You understand? And if any person didn't disclose, the leader of the opposition has the right to take action against them. Not just the prime minister, the leader of the opposition does too. And they can be fined, hefty fine, and they can also get jail time. Yes. And everything that they did not disclose should be seized and go to the people. Any property they didn't disclose, any business they didn't disclose, goes to the people. That's okay. And so I'm just going to take a minute to take calls from you because I know a lot of people don't understand everything that is going on. So I'm going to take some calls from you. And so I can answer any questions you didn't understand. But don't fall for that charade. It means absolutely nothing. Some people are going to say, oh, Lincoln Bain is just jealous. It wasn't him out there. He wanted to be out there. He won throw the Mace. No, I don't. I don't even want to have to be doing this. I just want a country that works for my children. I have children. I want a country that works. I'm tired of Bahamian suffering, and I'm tired of the show. And I don't plan on turning this country over to Brent Simonet and Fred Smith. by voting for Pintard or letting Pintard get in. They're going to bring a bunch of young people. Like I said, this new politics is a new generation. People they can control. People who have no say. That's what they're about to do, to make you think, oh, this is a new generation. Let's give them a chance. They're going to bring a bunch of people whose names you know. That's what they're planning to do, to swing you. And then when they get in there, you can be like, wow, these same old people. Where all that talent they was talking about gone? Because they just can only do what they're told. Let's open the phone lines while we talk. That, my brother, I couldn't answer just now. All right, but you can call me if you have any questions before I come off here and get back to work. We came to fight for a situation in Grand Bahama, so I'm always fighting for the people. I'm always doing certain things. We came here in Grand Bahama to fight for a situation. We came to Old Bahama Bay to repossess the condos there because of a situation that I did a live about. And we came and served papers on those people. And we came and served papers on those people. And we changed locks and we took it back. All right. And so because there was corruption and it involved the politicians in this country, involved members of parliament, cabinet ministers, and we decided that that's not going to happen on our watch. So we're always fighting for the people. All right, let me take these calls. Okay, we got a couple of people calling one time. I can take one at a time. All right. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Payne. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, I just want the Bahamian people to be very vigilant in what they observe today. We all know that Michael Pintard is the loyal opposition of the Queen or the King. Sorry.
Yes.
Michael Pintard has in his power right now as the leader of the opposition and the chairman for the Public Account Committee. He is endowed with the power and the responsibility to hold the government accountable right now. And he doesn't need to be on the outside of the house protesting. He is paid as the opposition right now to use the power and the mechanism that is available to him right now to hold the government accountable. He has everything that he needs.
You're correct.
He is refusing to use the instrument that is bestowed upon any opposition party to hold the government accountable. That thing he did in the House today, that was a charade and it was planned. That was nothing to oppose the sitting government. What that was for was to show, was to try and get the attention that he has lost, the support that he has lost from the Bahamian people. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking now at Shannon Dawn Cartwright. Shannon Dawn Cartwright seems to be the big kahuna in that party. To me, Michael Pintard will always be deemed to me as the weak leader, including Philip Brave Davis. But I want the people of this country to not get distracted by that charade. The opposition party has everything that they need in their power to hold the government accountable in the House of Parliament, not on the streets in the square. Thank you, Mr. Bean.
Thank you for your call. 803-5995 is the number. You can call a regular line, etc. You can call in regular line or on WhatsApp or regular line. So that's a number right there. And so we want you to not be fooled by this charade. Yes, we want change. We want change, and everyone is angry. But we don't want you to be fooled and think that the F&M is that change. There's nothing that they did while in government that impresses me that they're interested in change, and nothing they did while they were opposition. And so what they do is they tell them to just go and do a speech about it, and then you could say you was fighting for it. No, you didn't fight. You talked about it. Talking about something is not fighting for it. All right? We need real, substantial change. And so we believe that this was planned by the PLP and FNM. And I got a call from the FNM asked me to come out there. And I believe, and then I saw some stuff going around saying, oh, the COI and FNM is going to be out there in full force. What they were trying to do to me is what they did to Brian McCartney with Loretta Butler Turner. And what that did, they outsmarted Brian because he's not a good chess player. They outsmarted him by lumping him with the people he was complaining about. The people he said was the problem because he felt that he could get some position from doing this and he wanted to be a senator. And so he did that and that discredited him. He lost the support of his people. All right. And so they wanted to associate me with the FNM. All right. And they wanted to pull me in there and say, oh, this is for country's sake. It's not for country's sake. If it's for country's sake, get in the House of Assembly, file injunctions, tables bills, and use the PAC. If it's for country's sake. For country's sake is not outside. There are enough activists to do that. For country's sake is using your powers in the House of Assembly. That's for country's sake. All right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave that right there. Someone is asking me about who these people are on Freeport doing this nonsense. But we're dealing with them. They're getting a good spanking. And we're going to continue to deal with them. And so I'm going to do a live just devoted to that so you can know exactly what is going on. All right. So I'm going to be on the record, I think tomorrow. That's Jerome Sawyer's show. But he's going to be off the island, and the Kendino Knows is going to be hosting the show. And I'm going to talk some more about this for the entire country to know what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled by the charades. Don't be fooled by them getting dragged out of the house after the house closed. How you can drag someone out of the house after it closed? Explain that to me. Is that we need to get one more picture? We need to show them in an iconic picture because they have pictures with Lincoln being arrested by the police for the people, and so they got to prop up the opposition to make sure that the power stays in the hands of the PLP and FNM. But I believe the Bahamians are waking up and they are seeing the truth. We are going to continue to stand up and fight for the Bahamian people. So if you're asking me if I should join forces with the FNM, I cannot join forces with the people who are the problem. The FNM have raped and robbed this country. The PLP has raped and robbed this country. I cannot join forces with that. We need a whole new paradigm shift. Every time we swing, it doesn't work. And then we keep wanting to do it again and again and again. I can't be a part of that. If Bahamians choose that that's what they want to do, they want to swing back to the FNM to go and continue to rape and rob this country. If that's what they choose, that's what they choose. But that's not going to be what I stand for. We're going to fight for this. So just a reminder, a vote for the FNM is a vote for Brent Simonet to own this country. Rape and rob it. It's a vote, and the Hollow West Coast, etc. It's a vote for Fred Smith to have his way with immigration, to open our borders. No control over immigration and Shanty Downs. Because he funds Pintard. He was the one who started giving money to Pintard to flood in his community so they could say, oh, he's a good MP. Because they keep us poor. So when an MP comes and give us a little something, we feel like they did so much. We're so easy to buy out. And so his job was to just pump money towards Pintard. And so when Pintard helps you, he's really helping Fred. And if Pintard was to get in, Fred and everything he's been fighting for, he's going to have. Think about that. He's not fighting in the courts anymore because he's going to put someone with the power of the pen there. That's what he wants. You've been warned. And so that's what you're looking at. It's simple as that. So the PLP, we don't know they done. And so I also need to mention to you that they're going to now put in place a female commissioner of police. All right, because they got to do something that's iconic. Like when they put Kamala there to distract everybody, they're going to put a female commissioner of police, and they're going to tout it as something so great and so beautiful, and women leadership, and they're going to tout it as something great to distract you from what's really going on. And the country is still falling to shambles. They're going to even ask some of their criminals to ease up for a little while, so it could look like, she come in and boy, she doing a good job. They're going to distract you. Okay? We need to wake up. We need to wake up. All right? So Pintard fighting hard to keep the dad effing them together. No, he's fighting for that job. He doesn't have anything outside of that, no form of income. And so if he is not the leader of the opposition, he's in problems. All right? And so he needs to continue to be that. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to eat. So he's fighting for his very life right now. Oh, someone says, you mean Skippings? No. Shanta Knowles. I think that's her name. Yeah, Shanta is the officer in charge of Grand Bahama right now. And I am told, we'll see if they go with it in the end, to begin preparations for that. I can't confirm that. I only say things I can confirm, but that's what I'm hearing right now from persons in position. So we'll see what happens. That Lehman Delaval is going to be retired. If they replace Fernando with Lehman Delaval, it will be a travesty. It would be a travesty. All right. But Lehman Delaval and Fernando can leave now because they got so much money from this government. We believe millions of dollars. We believe that each of them got over $2 million for nothing. That's what we believe. That each of them got over $2 million of the people's money. And so we need a Freedom of Information Act. Or we need an opposition that can subpoena the information. So Pintard, now that you done finished jumping up and down and sweating up yourself, get in the house and use the power of the PAC to get this information that we need. We need to know what's going on with our carbon credits. You can subpoena the information. We need to know what's going on with our sovereign wealth fund. You voted with Philip Brave Davis to steal our sovereign wealth fund. You are voting with them on every bill that they're bringing to the people. I want you to notice this, Bahamas. Every bill that they're bringing to the people, none of these bills are to benefit the people. But Pintard and the FNM is voting with them on each of these bills. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to bring you up to date because everyone is calling me. If anyone have any questions, this is what about Michael Johnson? Still need to go. We have a live just in all of this. The corruption is horrible. Yes, the PLP is corrupt, but the FNM is also corrupt. Do not forget about Oban and the deal they were trying to put down. Don't forget about the FNM. All right? Pintard was the worst Minister of Agriculture in our history. He's now talking about Crown land. The Minister of Agriculture is in charge of the Crown land. All right? He's in charge of all of the agricultural Crown land. Did he grant any Crown land? Grant any Crown land to Bahamians? No. He could have used that opportunity to make sure Bahamians got straight. And tell them, yeah, take this land, do one backyard farm, and put your house on there. No, because the FNM and PLP benefit from using our Crown land to build low-cost homes. You see, both of them are our homes. He was the worst Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture. Do you remember that sports teams were begging to go represent us with Bahamas on their jersey? Do you remember that? That how horrible he was? Junkanoo's groups couldn't get their seed money on time. Do you remember Youth, Sports, and Culture? Do you remember how the youth programs was marched right down? They couldn't get nothing under Pintard. But Fred Smith could give him money to go have events in his community, so you could say, "Oh, he's a good MP. He's a good MP." Money don't make you good. The drug dealers, the mafia, the killers, they go in the neighborhoods and they give away a lot of stuff. Does that make them good? That's because they are benefiting on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. We want what belongs to us. Don't fall for them. Somebody, what's going on with the VAT? Well, what's going on with the VAT is has been put on the backs of all Bahamians. And if the FNM was to become government, they're going to move it off of bread basket items. There should be no taxes on any food. In America, they don't tax you on food. You go to the grocery store, if you buy deodorant, you pay tax on that. You will not pay taxes on your lettuce or your rice or any food. They don't tax you on food. Do you understand? But our governments are so heartless. And so what's going to happen is they're going to take it off bread basket item, which is just a small list of food, although that's stuff that we eat every day. And then they're going to give you income tax. Income tax is coming if you vote for the PLP and FNM. Tell your friends and family they're going to destroy us with that. They're going to tell you, oh, we're going to put it on the high income earners first. That's a lie. Just how they lied about VAT, that's a lie. Oh, it's a more equitable form of tax. That's a lie. Only the poor people pay income tax. All right? The rich invest their money. They put their money to work. And so people who get salaries are who pay taxes. But the wealthy don't pay income tax. So don't fall for that. That's another way for them. When they did VAT, the VAT goes on the people. Remember, the businesses get their money back. They get their tax returns. Someone say, oh, we need tax returns in this country. The businesses are getting their tax returns. Whatever money they pay for VAT when they import it, they get that money back as you buy it, and as more people buy it, they get their money back. You don't get yours back. VAT goes on the poor. Wake up. And so now they're going to hit the poor again with income tax to take whatever we got left. I don't fall for Pintard and his foolishness. It's time to block out this nation. All right? Make this make real sense. Put people who are not a part of the system, who's going to break the system, in the House of Assembly if you want real change. I did an hour, ladies and gentlemen, just short of an hour. I wanna thank you for being a part of this. Real change is coming. Real change is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay tuned, but don't fall for these shenanigans and these tricks. And don't mind them telling you, linking this or linking that or whatever. I'm not falling for your tricks. And I don't go where the heathens go. I'm not going to partner with the heathens, the people who have been raping and robbing us. I cannot partner with the people who are the problem. Don't ask me to partner with them just to get rid of the PLP. The PLP and FNM is one. And as soon as Bahamians realize that, then we could have real change in this country. They will swing that hard towards the FNM before they let a third party get in there. But it ain't up to them. It's up to you. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to you. Thank you for tuning in. I got some more lives coming up this week, but we're going to continue fighting for the people, making arrangements, planning the policies that we need for the new Bahamas, getting ready to go republic. I told Brave, we're not running for the same thing. You're running for prime minister. I'm running for president. Because we're going to transform this country. Don't fall for their nonsense.